that I was going to be moving to Vermont for a job offer a week ago.
Yeah.
I dropped out of my courses. Like at the end of the day, I just want to be able to keep posting.
I wanted to ask first was like, how long have you been a creative? How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so I've been like a creative since like sophomore year of like high school.
Okay.
But this was like the first year that I decided to take it like seriously in a way that I could like monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been doing this since like I got my first, I was like, my family always had like point and shoot cameras.
Yeah.
And I was in like cross country and I like just brought it to meets.
Oh, that's sick.
And then the coach saw that and he's like, oh, you want to make the recap video for the season? I'm like, sure. I've been recording everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was the first like video I made. And
That's
that
sick.
was like, it just kept going after
So
that.
you were in college too, like recently, right? I saw it.
Yeah.
I was looking through your page. What college were you in?
So right around here, UIC,
Oh, okay,
University
UIC.
of Illinois, Chicago.
Did you grow up in Chicago and then go to UIC, or did you come here for UIC?
So I was in the suburbs,
Okay.
and then I moved here, and it's like the first time I lived alone and all that. Yeah.
That's sick. Was it fun living alone? Were you? Oh, I mean, I guess you're still going to, right?
No, yeah. It'll be a little different, but when I was first here, it was like all just like go, because like everything was new.
Yeah.
So it was super fun here, but I never really explored the city until like this year when I was like meeting other people in the city. Because like when you're here, it's like kind of like a bubble. Like
Exactly.
you stay in your college bubble, but like this summer I've been like just commuting to like, I don't know, like just the West Loop and all that, just to like go to these events and meet these people.
That's sick. Did you go to any of the Chicago 2 Create events?
I actually went to 2 of them.
Oh, you're so lucky, bro.
I like caught it. So there was the first one that was like really small, and then they had a second one that was like really like larger than the first one, and that was where they had like Shua Films, Gracie Co, Sky, and they were just talking panelists.
That's
and like it was like the first time ever that I met people who did video.
Within Chicago.
Like, cause before that, I like knew like 1 or 2 people that did like photos sometimes, like video. But then I was all of a sudden in a room where like everyone did video.
And they're pursuing that full time.
No, and that was where I met like all of my creator friends now.
That's so sick.
So like the person who like kind of organized it and then was Freddie Fang.
Yeah, I talked to him
and
too.
And then his like friends like Christopher Villa. But yeah, I just got to meet so many people, and that was like what kind of
pushing forward.
like skyrocket. Because when I went to that first event, I actually hadn't been creating for like a year. Like, cause school was getting like so
hectic,
and I was like, I had a leadership position in like another organization, and I was just like, I can't do any of my hobbies anymore.
Yeah.
And then I went to this creator event like very impulsively, and then I was like, it just like made my brain think differently that like I wasn't alone.
Yeah, which is sick. I honestly, I've met a lot of like influencers in the city, but not like on that level where they're doing, creative work. That's why I really want to go to one of those events. It's also why I'm doing this, so I can meet other people in the city, because I haven't gotten the chance to meet other people that are in my space. I meet a bunch of people outside of my space because I'm shooting for them, or I'm doing stuff for other entrepreneurs, but I'm never meeting other creatives, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So what made you start creating? Did you have like a thing that inspired you, or a person that inspired you, or did it just kind of happen?
Yeah. So before I started creating, it was like my first video was that like cross country video that like I ended up making, and I was like, oh, I'll just put all my favorite songs on there. I'll make a montage, and then like it was shown on the last night, and then everyone was like, oh my god, that was amazing. And I thought that was just like that like was like my vacation montages. But before that, I would watch people who are around, like, if you know what Creator Camp is.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Creator Camp started with like these YouTubers that I would watch religiously, like Valspire Family Hey X Natalie,
I know her. Yeah. And the
Wholesome
one-
Simon.
Yeah, I know him too.
All of them like created Creator Camp, and I was watching when the first one, when they like just rented a cabin with like
Yeah.
8 of them,
I saw that too. That shit
and
was
I
sick.
was like, that's crazy cool. It was like, you know how like people had like creator houses, but like that was like for like
It was
cinematic
cool.
like creator.
It was cool because it wasn't like they were living together. They would do their own thing, and then they would come together for a couple weeks and then go back to doing their own thing.
Yeah, it was like a whole retreat, and I thought that was sick because I watched each of them individually, and then they all came together.
It was like the Avengers movies.
Yeah,
It was funny.
It's like when they all come together. But before that, when I like really started making videos just for me, it was just me like recording my friends, and I love the idea that like I would have so much fun with them, and then I could like relive it because I was able to capture the emotions through like music and just like always having it recorded. And so yeah, I would like in high school I would just cut it up, add music, and then put it unlisted on YouTube and show my friends. And I had like 6 or 8 of those.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, we used to do something similar. We had this thing called RDH. We did like an actual YouTube channel though.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. I was always the camera guy. I would edit the videos. I would do the thumbnails. I would do all that.
Yeah.
And eventually I just started realizing I was like, I can actually make money. from
Right.
this. So like, why don't we pursue it?
No,
So yeah,
yeah.
that was a cool turning point for me. Did you always want to be a creative, or did you like have other goals from the beginning, or did you even see it as a career path at first?
So until this year, I never saw it as a career path. Mainly because I also didn't know anyone before like April who did, like there's no one to look up to, you know? You always see people online, it's like I quit my job to do content full time, and you're just like, that's a cool thing. I'm here to support you, but it's never like you know? What was the question again?
Like, were you always wanting to be a creative, or was it just kind of something that happened out of nowhere? Like, were you planning it as a career, or did it just kind of start?
No, I never really planned it as a career, but I always knew that I wanted to keep doing it.
At least for fun.
And so before I did video, like around high school time, I played a lot of music. Like I like to write songs and like just play with people. Never produced them. I didn't know how to produce, but I loved writing music. So I was like, there's always this other path. I was like, I'm gonna be a musician. I'm gonna be that starving artist. And then there's the other one where it's just like, I'm gonna go to college and be a computer science. But video was never like, well, I'm gonna do this as a job. It was always just like, I'm gonna document everything I'm doing anyway, just for fun, because I love video. But it was either those two, but it ended up being the third one.
Yeah, which is the one that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
That's cool. No. Yeah, I've always wanted to do video, but I've honestly never had another path. Honestly, like I've always wanted to do it, but it's cool that you had so many other like options and ideas, and you're still deciding to pursue being a creative. I know, because I know, like you said, you were in college, so you're leaving now fully college.
Yeah, so like a week ago, I dropped out of my courses, and it was like fully set in stone that I was going to be moving to Vermont for a job offer that this organization gave me through like an Instagram DM.
Oh, that's so sick.
Like, it first started with contract work through an Instagram DM, and then afterward, like we started talking, and it became something crazy, which is like still surreal to me.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That just can happen through like
Instagram.
All I was doing was posting silly videos every single day, documenting, trying to do something I never thought was possible.
Yeah, which is so sick. That's actually crazy. So what do you do for them? Is it like full-time social media management, or?
Yeah, it's basically SMM, where like I'm gonna be making their reels and like a YouTube video a month, and I'm just basically growing their channel as much as I can. But they like made it very clear that they wanted like a storytelling like thing. They didn't want just like retention editing, and like they wanted to like really bring emotion to the thing, which made me really want to do it.
That's awesome.
Because like I've done like real jobs where you just like cut it up to the most retentive parts and then add subtitles. So I was like, I don't really
want to do that.
Uproot my whole life to make YouTube shorts.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're like actually going to build a brand for them, which is sick.
Yeah, and that'll be like crazy because I have so many unanswered questions about how to make video a life later on with like the dream life that I do want to live.
Yeah.
Because I can easily hit like a livable salary if I keep going, but I want to like be able to provide for like someone I love, you know, and all that. The things that like everyone strives to do, but it'll just be different through like a freelance lens kind of.
Which makes sense. So you're going there, when are you going next week, you said? Or?
Yeah, I leave next Sunday and I'll be gone for a whole year just working for them.
Oh, that's crazy. So are they like, do you get an apartment out there and they're kind of like paying you, or how does that whole situation go?
So they are giving me like some money to like get out there, you know, but I am paying for like my apartment and I just got to make ends meet.
Yeah.
I'm also, because like the summer I was able to build up like 2 YouTube editing jobs with 2 people, so I can like still do that because I like have weekends off. I like, it's like a 9 to 5, so I can have time afterward. So I like kind of want to do it all just so I won't be like,
so you're not
trying to survive.
Yeah, trying to survive, yeah.
But yeah.
That's sick. So with Vermont, after you finish that year, do you plan on coming back here, or do you think you're gonna see what happens at that time?
You know what's crazy is that like I went to the first week of school. Like I had the offer in my head and I was like back and forth, and I was in those classes and I was like, what am I doing? Because I'm a computer science major. So it's like
completely different.
Completely left field. And this entire summer I spent doing video, and I come back and they're saying all these things that I would know if I was like practicing it throughout the summer. It was so rusty, and I was like, man, what am I doing sitting here when I have like this big opportunity, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna take it. But honestly, because I always did college because like there's that stability aspect, so I do plan to come back. Like I love Chicago because of also the creator community I built up. And it's like, I feel like something's starting here. I'm not gonna lie. Like in New York, California, like Jewish films, like it's always been like a hub.
They're both like movie sets, like you said. Yeah.
But like actually meeting people in the city here who are like creatives, it like makes it feel like bigger. One day, like this will be like the start. Like I don't know if there will be any more like Create to Chicago events because like it gets a lot, you know. But like if somebody does, like if we keep like trying, I feel like Chicago could be something like, because it's like a city still. It's like a middle ground between like New York that's too hectic and like California, which is like too far apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of want to come back here for sure. This is like where I'd picture myself spending my 20s. But I do feel like I need to finish school for my parents still. I'm also so far deep.
Yeah, like, how long? What year of school are you in?
I'm in like my 3rd year, so like I've already like almost done with like.
So you're a junior.
I'll be like. Yeah, I'm at the point where it's like the classes are only computer science. It's no longer like I have to take English
and
anymore.
Math and shit,
So I'm gonna come back and it's gonna be like, oh man, I know even less than I did before now. But the one upside is that the company that I'll be working with is like computer science based.
Okay.
Like they help kids like get into tech and they give them community.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I'll be documenting like what people are making, how like they started their own like club in their school because of it, and like that's like I'll be surrounded by it.
So
like,
if you do make that choice to go back to it, you'll still be like in the world. You know?
It was kind of like this weird middle ground coincidence between computer science and my creative endeavors.
Which is sick, honestly. From a random DM, from a random client is awesome.
Yeah, it was actually crazy. That's how it happened.
Yeah, no, that is crazy. So last thing I wanted to ask, which I kind of assume the answer to, is what's like your plan for the end of this year and the upcoming year?
Like at the end of the day, I just want to be able to keep posting and then documenting what I'm doing so that like anyone else who might have been like me, like could see that, because I feel like I'm such like I'm just a regular person. Like like
Yeah.
I'd be seeing these YouTubers, and like of course they're regular people, but like they've been doing it since like 2020. They've been doing it 22. They have a following now, but I feel like I'm just like a normal person who's always looked up to them, always consuming.
Yeah.
And like creating for myself, but like never being like, I'm gonna make something like that. So I really just want to like keep making videos, and then hopefully at some point I answer some of those questions that help me like figure out this is how I'm gonna be able to make ends meet and live comfortably while doing what I love.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I can answer that by asking people who have done it, like, because I'll be like in a company with like that goes around and like has a lot of big supporters. So really that's it. And I just want to meet more people who are doing it. So
I agree. No, I mean, I 100% agree. That's why, like I said, why I'm doing this. Also, like, that's why I wanted to do a wide range of people with this, because, you know, I can talk with someone that still has those questions like you and me, and I can talk with someone who has 13 employees and has an office, and then, like, get those answers for me and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is, like, a cool concept to start up. But, yeah, no, that's it. That's it for this, yeah.
That's awesome.
That was cool. That was a cool little thing. I like that. It was cool. Cool interview. First one. Went pretty well.
I enjoyed it, dude. Need this.